This is Barbara with Cana Girl Speaks podcast. My voice, your voice. Good evening, everybody. This is Barbara with the Cana Girl Speaks podcast, and I am so excited. I'm always excited to be recording a new podcast. And I'm also very thankful for those that always listen, those that always watch on YouTube, and just supporting the Cana Girl Speaks podcast, because without you, there would be no Cana Girl Speaks podcast. So I'm excited on this evening because I have some actual stars on my podcast. And they are, I'm gonna say this, they're TikTok stars. But they're also hometown Corsicanans. They don't live in Corsicana anymore, but they grew up in Corsicana, and so I wanted to bring them on to share a little bit about their story of who they are and all that good stuff. And I've known them for a long time. So anyway, so without further ado, I want to introduce to those that are listening and those that are watching, Heath McAdams. And Kendra Nathan McAdams, and a lot of the community members know her as Lupa.
Luke Dizzle.
So why don't you tell those that are listening and those that are watching who you are? I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, like you say, native Corsicanians, if that's how we want to say it. I think, not necessarily TikTok, but the reason we're being here is our not quite so common relationship as being best friends and being divorced. And that's what kind of stemmed and led into the TikTok, because we had all these funny ideas. And whenever we would go places together, people would be like, oh my goodness, y'all are together, you're divorced. And then we started just kind of thinking about it and having fun with different ideas. And it took a while with the concepts before we actually started recording and playing around with it.
Yeah. So what year did you graduate? You mean high school? Got all that good stuff?
Graduated.
Got to give a shout out to you.
Class of 93.
Okay.
I went to school, got my degree in occupational therapy, been working in the health and fitness industry since 19. Never worked in OT. I knew it wasn't for me.
And she was a bodybuilder at one time too.
Yes, and I still do. I just don't compete. Started working in the health and fitness industry in 1998, and it is 2023, and I'm still doing it. Currently pursuing a new degree. I got bored during the pandemic, during the quarantine, so I was sitting at home, and I'm like, I'm bored. What degree can I get 100% online? So I just started looking at universities and trying to figure out, okay, I can get that one. So this is my last semester of completing a bachelor's in health and science. So just getting another degree.
Who does your homework?
Oh my goodness. And I have to deal with this.
Oh my goodness. So Heath, what you tell them about who you are?
All right. Heath McAdams. Originally, I was born an Army brat, Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas. Both my parents originally from Corsicana, so they moved here when my dad retired from the Army. So I've been here since the 4th grade, graduated in 92. Along the way, met this little scrub here. We fell in love.
Well, we met when I was in 5th grade and he was in 6th. And I had just moved to this neighborhood, and they were like, the girls were like, this guy Heath is coming over. He's cute, but he thinks he's all that. Nobody's better at anything than him. And then he comes over with his cutoff shirt on. And I'm like, yeah, I can see I don't like him either.
But what changed? Tell them the story in high school, though, when you saw me come through my little brown
And then
shirt.
later on in middle school, we were just hangout buddies. And then in high school, I was like, I feel sorry for him. Let me just talk to this dude. But go ahead and finish yours.
Anyway, so we fell in love, got married, 23 years, raised 2 amazing sons together. And now, like you said, we've been divorced 5 years. We get along better now.
Yeah.
And we're divorced and best friends, and my job basically now is just giving her a hard time. So.
Yeah. So, so you have to watch them. You can catch them on their TikTok videos, and it is hilarious because it's kind of like for them to have been married that long and then now they're best friends and just see the relationship that they have. I enjoy watching it. So, but like you said, did you have to grow into that? It wasn't like, I mean,
even when we were dating in high school, had the old school camera,
Yeah.
camcorder like this, we would just randomly come up with stupid things. And then when the boys came along, we have footage of where we made home movies. And so it's just,
You talking about growing to the friendship or growing
yeah,
to
growing to your relationship. I mean, growing to like
you answered the video question.
oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I think we're here now because we were friends in the beginning.
I mean, that was like even when we was married, the strongest part of us was our
Yeah.
friendship.
Being friends
Yeah.
first.
Being like a Batman and Robin of parenting, you know what I'm saying? Like that, the
Batman.
family
Yeah.
thing, whatever, you know, Batman.
Riddler.
That's the best part of us. So we could always fall back on that, you know.
Yeah.
But even for where we're at right now, like going through divorce, we did our best right before, during, and after to hate each other. You know, we went through our moments. So it was a process to get where we're at. I think it's just our history together,
Yeah.
you know, things we've been through, and just kind of learning how to be self-reflective instead of like holding a grudge, you know,
Yeah.
looking back and letting go of the past and just realizing it really, a lot of that we was butting heads about, we was just, that part of us didn't work no more. You know, we just grown into different people. And then when you get out from underneath that weight, you got some time to just breathe.
Yeah.
And you go like, this is still my girl. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what, you know, cause I guess it's like what, you know, the world teaches us you divorce, you're supposed to be enemies or whatever.
Yeah,
But like,
it does.
we gonna always be a team as far as our sons.
Yeah.
And then when we hang out, it's just, like I be at her house, got the stool, both our feet on the couch, we watching TV. Nothing different. We just not romantically together no
Yeah.
more.
So how do y'all handle like when you're dating other people? Because I'll be like paying attention. I'm like, he's got what? This girl, what? I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm like, how's Kendra? I mean, that one video, you know, like you was acting like, you know, you was blocking him, you know, and I was like, they are something else. So
It's actually a good thing, like talking about working through the divorce, that even when we were at each other and we started to get along, I realized I love this man and I want nothing but the best for him. So
we all
whenever
do.
he does get into a relationship, I'm kind of like that younger little sister that's like, you better not hurt him, but I
Yeah.
want the best for him. And I can understand sometimes how that may be strange for a woman he's dating, but he's in a good relationship right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, this hopefully is the one. But, you know, I can understand on her part where it's kind of like, your ex-wife's your best friend. I'm like, I have to tell him, like, girl, you have absolutely nothing to worry
Yeah.
about. I'm like one of the dudes.
Yeah.
But it's if he's happy, that's what I ultimately want for him.
Yeah.
That's what he wants for me.
Yeah.
So it works out well.
Yeah, it's the
And
same
it
way.
takes him away from my house. And he doesn't call me as much.
Yeah.
when he's on there.
Whatever. She be sad when I don't call her. We'll be lonely.
so your boys, did they, as far as, you know, when you guys got divorced, was it hard for them or, you know, just
Jalen especially, you know, because it was the firstborn and it was the three of us against the world in the early days. So Jalen took it real hard. It's still hard for him now.
Yeah.
Like he will tear up just hearing about us dating other people. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine.
And then like, you know, we can still do that family thing together. It's like nothing changed. I think that kind of hurts him sometimes. He enjoys it, of course. He's glad mom and dad get along like that. But yeah, it's hard for him at times to like, because he wants us to be back together.
Yeah.
But I think he's coming into his own of understanding, like, you know, they're
'Cause he's
actually
older,
better
yeah.
because he remembers a lot of, you know, we arguing and stuff or whatever. And then Tiger came when we was already kind of butting heads a
Yeah.
little bit. So, but yeah, he took it hard too, but I think he handled it a little bit better than Jalen.
Okay. So where do you see yourself going as far as, you know, are you going to be in the wedding if he gets married?
We talked
We
about
just talked about that.
I said she's going to be my best man.
We did, and I was like, so, you know, do I wear a tux? And he was like, no, girl, you're going to have on your bow tie with a dress, and you're going to be like this. And then I was like, that would be great, because, you know, we are best friends. But I think just the chatter amongst people would take
Yeah.
away from her day.
Yeah.
And I was like, either I'll sit at the very back if I'm invited by her, because, yeah, you know, it's her
Yeah,
day. I
it's
want
her
her to have
day,
all the
yeah.
attention, not people like, girl, who just
Okay, but what about at your wedding? I'm giving you away, right? Who else going to give you away?
Yeah, who else? You can be the ring bearer.
I haven't done that job.
Yeah,
when I
'cause
was
y'all have the
little.
two boys, so I mean, you know, one of them can give her away.
Yeah, we are such
I
a
gotta be the one
tight
to stand
little
them down.
union.
Like,
Yeah.
slip up, bro.
Yeah, the boys, they that'll be, I have to make a decision there. Me and
Yeah.
my groomsmen.
Yeah.
They're all my best friends.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like, yes, we have a friendship. I know, like, I did another explanation video on TikTok where I talked about we're actually kind of more familiar, like brother and sister.
Yeah.
And like that kind of goes into the history. Like, you know, I've talked about in other videos where my parents did not agree with the whole interracial thing,
Yeah.
kicked me out. So
Yeah.
I lived with her and Big Mama for a while, my senior year. And so that really pushed us together. Like, I don't even think she really wanted to be with me, but then she was
'cause I
stuck
was
with
like,
me.
wait a minute, this is a bit much. I just
Yeah.
want to cheer,
Yeah,
play some
yeah.
volleyball,
Uh-huh.
and do my homework. I'm like, I'm coming home to somebody in my house. I'm like, but
Yeah.
didn't want him being mistreated. So
Yeah.
And then so, like, of course, that brought us together. And she always, like, her family, that's my family now. Like, I don't speak to my family anymore. So Big Mama, that's my mama. So
Yeah.
of course, we still gonna be bonded because of that. We're gonna be bonded because of our boys. And then, like, people know about my illness and things I've been through. I mean, she was dead. When we was married, there was times like we were not in a good place with our marriage. And maybe I was like, oh, you ain't here for me. But no, she was holding it down.
Yeah, I could
You know
tell.
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I
Like,
could just tell just from just from the social media. I just know that you've always been there for him. I mean, I
Well,
could just
there's
tell.
a lot of people. I didn't post a lot, like if he had
Yeah.
surgery and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just got to take care of these boys, take care of the house, take care of bills, take care of Heath, and make sure that they get to see their dad. And everybody
she was
has
running
everything they
back and
need.
forth. She would go to work, come see me at lunch, sleep, but it was just good to have her there. She'd go back to work, go get the boys, bring them back, like in this rinse and repeat. And then even like since the divorce, like every procedure, every surgery I've had, she's either been my ride or she's been there when I woke up. You
So
know
what
I'm
kind of
saying?
advice can you give to those couples that are like, divorced and like I said, they've had those rough patches, of being, not together anymore. What I mean, because you guys, like you said, you had to grow into that. So what kind of advice can you give them?
I think, as he mentioned earlier, a lot of introspection. Don't lose everything you once had by still trying to be right or wrong. Focus on the big picture. Like the boys' mental and emotional health was most important to both of us. And when we focus on that and take ourselves out of the bigger picture, it was easier to make things work and be more smooth. And then just like you say, it's just kind of this dynamic that you find you're human. And even though we're not married, and that way he's still kind of my human, and vice versa. If something's, hey, Luke, call, he's on the phone, like blah blah blah, or vice versa. So it's just kind of, you focus on the big picture and just move forward that way.
Yeah, I think like if I had to give somebody advice, because there's no perfect magic pill or nothing like that, but
and everybody's relationship is different.
Exactly, because there's some things you can't come back from, some really egregious things or whatever. But I mean, if it's just regular normal relationship, it's not working. What my advice would be, you gotta teach yourself to not respond in those temporary emotions. Meaning, like somebody hurt you, they lie or whatever. Those temporary emotions, you're angry and you're hurt. And when you respond in that moment, you're going to say things you regret or whatever. It's going to blow up. And then a lot of people get stuck in that. And then they put up a wall and I hate this person. That's it. Where take that breath, walk away, calm down so you can see everything a little bit more objectively. You know what I mean? And then I think I mentioned earlier about being self-reflective. Look back, no matter how bad this person hurt you, instead of, because we as human beings, we're self-righteous. We want to be right. They're wrong. I'm right. But take that time to like, what did I do anything to maybe push them to this? Could I have been better? You know what I mean? And when you do that, it makes you look on both sides and you let go of that self-righteous thing, because that was a big for me to let go of things that went wrong, because I don't blame her, I blame us. And it's really not a blame, it's just we just grew apart. And it's just when you're mature enough to realize that, then you can be friends.
So is it hard? Is it hard for you to explain that to those that you were dating? I mean, was it like real, like walking on eggshells? Like, okay, so how do I address this with the person I'm, getting ready to see or date and all that?
With me dating, like you said, like I put a lot of pictures.
Because I'm telling you, some women, they don't understand that.
I'm
some
honest
people don't
about
understand
everything
that.
up front. I'm just like, I put that out there, because for a while when I was dating, my ex-wife is my best friend. My ex-girlfriend's daughter, I love her like my own. I'm still going to volleyball games or whatever. And that was a lot. Some ladies like, yo, that's too much. Because they had wounds in the past where people said that, but it wasn't true. I've had dudes tell me that, my ex is just my friend, like whatever. But so it can be, a hindrance, but I'm just straight up and honest. Like that's the only way I know how to be. So
Kendra?
I think for me it's a little different. My boyfriend, he was there when Heath and I were kind of at odds with one another. So he has seen the growth and evolution to where we are now. So it's he's been a part of it. So it's nothing new to throw on him. And he's heard us, he's talked to Heath via me through the phone, and he just thinks Heath is as crazy as I think he's crazy. So I haven't had that sense where it's somebody new and I got to say, oh my ex-husband. But like I said, I can understand where that person would feel like, hey, that's not the norm. It isn't the norm. But I'd much rather have it this way than to be at odds with him.
Yeah.
And, that tears up the family. It affects our boys.
Yeah.
So just be open and honest, and be honest with yourself. I know that this is my best bud, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Well,
y'all keep making videos. I mean, and then what about a book?
Yeah, I don't know. People been telling me to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, because
I write once, I do the poetry and stuff.
You do the poetry, but just sharing your story about, your journey, because it will help somebody else, and, I'm learning now that, we can tell our own stories. We don't have to actually, especially small town Corsicana people, we can tell our own stories.
Absolutely.
And we can help, our community, and y'all are from here and stuff like that. So y'all think about that, about, doing a book and all that. Maybe even a podcast, I mean, for real.
You see, we did the videos. It was like, 4 or 5, bam, bam, bam. We knocking them out. And she, I'm the CEO. She the assistant. But I don't know what happened.
I come up with all the concepts. And I have 2 more. And I was like, this is what we need to do.
I like the Love and Basketball one. I love that one.
That
one was, that was good.
Tell the truth.
It was you looked at the video and came up with you say this, and then it was my acting skills.
Your acting skills. Oh, y'all go watch. No,
yeah, girl, you need to watch.
I carried the whole video.
It's a good. We really feed off each other. Like on this. Yeah. Oh, what about this?
The one where you was acting like you was going to propose to her, and you got on your. I said, oh my goodness. I'm even thinking, is he really? And then at the end, I'm like, oh my goodness, Heath.
See, and I did the beginning, and then he put together the end, so we just kind of.
Well, that's like she said, we've been doing crazy stuff like that since forever. So once we get rolling on something, we have a great time.
Yeah, I enjoy them. So y'all go and watch their videos, like and share them, because they do have a good relationship. And we've watched the growth. I remember, like I said, at the early years. So we've watched the growth of when they was, lovey-dovey, young, before kids and all that good stuff. So, we've watched that.
We still lovey-dovey.
Yeah, y'all are, yeah. So I want to say thank you for coming on the Cana Speaks podcast. I always give my guests an opportunity to give a shout out. So go ahead and give me a little shout out.
No, you
ladies first. You got your crew.
That's because he wants all the main time. Shout out to Big Mama and the
Joey
boys. Yeah, Rodeo Joe.
Shout out Jalen and Tiger, of course. That's our sons. We wouldn't be here without them. Shout out to Big Mama, of course. That's my mama. And I gotta shout out my girl now. We back together. We was together. Back in 2018, we was off and on.
That's the last one.
Thomasina.
Excuse me.
Thomasina, don't listen to her. She knows.
I really got
correct me on the way here. He was like, look, don't you get to talking in this.
I'm sorry, but for a while, I'm like, okay, I'm confused. So Thomasina, good, you're back. Okay.
But and a lot of people are like, Heath, who you with? His love is so deep and big. He didn't care how people would receive it, what their opinions on were, because it was real to him. Yeah. And regardless if it was going to last forever or 10 minutes, he makes the most of whatever relationship that he's in.
I could tell.
So what if somebody's like, wasn't it a different girl the other week? It doesn't mean that he's going all in with him, but he's enjoying each moment, each date for what it is.
But you know who the one is. You better tell.
No, I'm talking about back then.
He just making
yes.
I'm saying, but she been there when I'm talking about one. She's like, you love Thomasina.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
she makes him very
I didn't just make
happy.
her say that.
She makes him very happy. I love that for them both.
Yeah, because we want Heath to be happy. We do. We really do.
Appreciate it. I want to be happy.
Well, just like I said, thank you for coming down, because they came down to be on the podcast, and so I want to say, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, keep making us laugh, keep making us smile, get those numbers up, because I know and y'all think about the book and the doing your thing, because y'all need to share your story, because it will help somebody. It's just helping me just watching y'all's relationship, So for those that always support the Cana Speaks podcast, thank you. Continue to watch, continue to share, continue to like, and y'all have a safe week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
This is a Legacy Recording Studio production.